Hello, I'm Andrew Kaunitz, Professor and Associate Chair in the OBGYN Department, University of Florida College of Medicine in Jacksonville. Today I'd like to discuss the rising incidence of advanced cervical cancer in U.S. women. As women's health clinicians, we can be proud of the success cervical cancer screening has had in reducing the incidence of and mortality from cervical cancer. Likewise, HPV vaccination has reduced the incidence of cervical cancer in countries such as Sweden, in which vaccination uptake has been higher than in the US. In developed countries, including the US, most cervical cancer is diagnosed early with corresponding 5-year survival greater than 90%. In contrast, advanced cervical cancer is associated with 5-year survival of only 17%. Investigators used national databases to assess 2001 to 2018 trends in the incidence of invasive cervical cancer among U.S. women, self-reported cervical cancer screening, and rates of HPV vaccination among teens. Advanced cervical cancer was defined as FIGO stage 4 disease. The overall incidence of advanced cervical cancer increased 1.3% each year from 2001 to 2018. Although Black and Hispanic women were noted to have higher rates of advanced disease, the incidence of advanced cervical cancer increased more than twice as fast among white women, with the most rapid rise noted among white women in their 40s residing in the South. Adenocarcinoma of the cervix was noted to have increased more rapidly than squamous cancers. While the proportion of women with non-guideline screening, defined as last Pap more than 5 years prior, increased in all race and ethnic groups, the prevalence of inadequate screening was almost twice as high in white women compared to Black women. While the prevalence of HPV vaccination increased across the board, no group exceeded a vaccination prevalence of 80%. Compared with squamous tumors, screening is less effective in the early detection of cervical adenocarcinoma, and nulliparity and obesity are known risk factors for this type of tumor. The increasing prevalence of obesity as well as age at first birth among U.S. women may explain increases in this type of cervical cancer. White parents are more likely to report HPV vaccination safety concerns as reasons for not vaccinating their children. This, along with a higher prevalence of inadequate screening, likely explains the faster increase in advanced cervical cancer that the investigators observed in white women. One can speculate that the trend of clinicians, particularly primary care providers, performing fewer pelvic examinations might have led to more women falling through the cracks with respect to cervical cancer screening. Because this study stopped in 2018, it did not include the years of the pandemic during which fewer women have been coming in for screening. This means the concerning trends observed in this report have likely worsened in recent years. As women's health clinicians, we can respond to the increasing incidence of advanced cervical cancer by being proactive in educating women and facilitating screening and HPV vaccination. I find that a particularly effective time for educating patients regarding the value of HPV vaccination for their children or grandchildren is when I am performing colposcopy. A last point is that research to improve screening for adenocarcinoma of the cervix is urgently needed. I'm Andrew Kaunitz. Please take care of yourself and each other.